And it goes back to the fundamental concept of this growth hack, giving people reasons to stay. In the case of Peacock, in the case of your agency, giving people reasons to spend more if you're an e-commerce brand, as the example I just gave, or giving people reasons to upgrade to spend more if you're Peacock, going from free to paid.
Marketing is about values.
Nike didn't call me and sell me this in a catalog. I bought this swoosh because it's ingrained in my soul.
When you have a product that really resonates with customers, the word of mouth grows like wildfire.
Welcome to the MarketingMax show. Now, let's dive in.
Welcome back to the MarketingMax show. This is the second solo episode, but the first solo episode that will be a growth hack. This is me sharing a growth marketing tip or trick or hack, as I like to call them, that I have seen in the wild or that I've used myself, that any business of any size in any industry can use to grow and scale. So before I get started, I want to say, whether you're 30 seconds into this episode or you finished the entire thing, I would really, really, really greatly appreciate if you could open up Twitter, or X as we call it now, or we're supposed to call it now, actually, and find me on Twitter at MarketingMax and DM me your feedback on this episode. What do you love about it? What do you hate about it? Be super nice or be super mean. I don't care. I just want your feedback. Is the topic boring? Am I rambling? Is there weird issues with my audio? Whatever it is, if you could go on Twitter and give me feedback, good, bad, or ugly. If you love it, please just say, great, I love it. Here's why. Or not even here's why. I just say I love it. I listened to the episode about how Peacock increases their subscriber lifetime value, and I loved it. That'll give me some signals to know, hey, this is good, and I should continue doing things like this. If you don't like it, you can tell me, and you never have to listen to me again. But before you never listen to me again or never talk to me again and block me on all social platforms, I would greatly appreciate your feedback. All right, let's dive in. The first growth hack and solo episode growth hack of the MarketingMax show. This one is titled How Peacock Increases Subscriber Lifetime Value. And this started because I recently read that the average churn rate for all US streamers is around 47%, which is mind-blowingly high. Think Netflix, think HBO Max, or Max as we're supposed to call it now, Disney Plus, Hulu, Peacock. The average churn rate, and I don't know 100%, I'm not 100% confident, but I'm 99% confident that that means every single month, 47% of their subscribers are leaving or unsubscribing from their platform or from their subscription. I don't know if it's every month, every 3 months, or every 6 months. Forgive me for not knowing that. But what I do know is the average SaaS churn rate for a software product like a Salesforce or a Riverside.fm, like I'm using this, or Canva, is like closer to 5%. So the number of 47% for these streamers is insanely high. It's mind-blowingly high. It's 47%. It blew my mind, and I was like, I gotta dig into this more. So what I found at first was a recent study that said the number one reason why this is the case. And as a marketer myself, before I even read this, my first thought was, man, if I was in charge of Peacock or Netflix or HBO Max or Disney Plus or any one of these platforms, my first thing would be, how do I get people to find things that are more relevant to them as quickly as freaking possible? And when I found this first report in my research, it kind of backed that up. So a recent report that I found said consumers are taking forever to find shows to watch. That is the number one cause, the leading cause of why subscriber rates are so low and why churn rates are so high on these US streaming platforms. It's because subscribers are taking forever to find shows to watch, which means these streaming platforms need to find ways to get people to watch more shows. And they should be doing this at lightning speed in the hopes of preventing a consistent mad dash for all of these subscribers to cancel their subscriptions. As mentioned, my first thought is, well, there are things on Netflix, there are things on HBO that I don't even know about because I normally don't scroll past the first 2 or 3 things. And so in my mind, they need to be working with conversion rate optimization experts. They need to be A/B testing a bunch of different things on their different home screens, home pages, whatever you want to call it, when you tap Netflix on your TV or when you tap Netflix on your phone. They need to be figuring out how to surface things that you are more interested in quicker. Well, as I did some digging, I found a recent article in Marketing Brew, and they were saying that Peacock has maybe not solved the problem, but they have solved the problem better than any other one of these streaming platforms, excuse me. And Peacock's simple growth hack that has helped them decrease their churn rate more than anyone else, and we'll get into the numbers at the end of this, the final numbers. Their simple growth hack, which you might have thought of, but I didn't, is emails. One word, emails. That's right. It turns out that Peacock's Senior Director of CRM, Annabella Goff, said both free and paid subscribers of Peacock are sent 3 to 5 emails every single week, depending on how active they are on the service. So the more people listen, or I should say the more people watch, I imagine, the less emails they get. And the less people watch, the more emails they get. But essentially, Peacock is sending emails every single week between 3 and 5 to every single customer with recommendations of what they should watch. As mentioned, I would think their focus should be on A/B testing or recommendations once people open the app. But this growth hack is working absolutely gangbusters for them. The insights that this Marketing Brew article shared were pretty mind-blowing. So last year, they sent out an email campaign, a one-off email campaign, not a specific weekly one, but a one-off email campaign to more than 40 million of their subscribers. And it featured a year in review breakdown of their watch history on Peacock. This translated to a 20% decrease in churn rate. 20%. So if they're at 50%, let's say, it went down to 40%. Okay. They got a 20% decrease in churn rate among paying subscribers within 30 days. They also saw a 6% increase in conversion rate from free to paying user. Emails, guys. Emails are how Peacock is lowering their churn rate and increasing their subscriber LTV more than anything else. And knowing that Peacock sends more emails than any other streaming platform, it really puts their strategy in this particular growth hack into perspective. So this Marketing Brew article, I want to quote a sentence from there. They said every single premium subscription streamer saw churn rates in June of 2023 increase compared to the year prior, with the exception of Peacock, which saw churn rates decline 2%, according to data from a report from Antenna, Antenna. So everyone else's churn rate is getting worse. Peacock's is going better. And the only thing that I can find and that Marketing Brew can find and a bunch of other marketers, a bunch of other articles and research reports that I have found can find, the only difference is that Peacock is sending 3 to 5 emails every single week. Okay, Max, I get that this is a growth hack, but what's the actual growth hack here? Let me tell you. I like to give a few examples always, or I'm going to be giving a few examples in these growth hacks on the pod. So let's say you're an e-commerce brand. Let's say you run a clothing brand selling premium t-shirts. You could send an email every single month saying, hey, you recently bought X. 60% of people who bought X also bought Y and Z. Click here to add Y and Z to your wardrobe. And if you really wanted to encourage them, you could say, click here to add Y and Z to your wardrobe for a 10% discount or with a 10% discount. This is similar to what Peacock does, right? Because you are saying people who watched Star Wars also watched Star Trek or whatever. People who bought X t-shirt also added this hat, right? And because you're backing it up with the number, 60% of people also bought this, it creates not only FOMO, but it adds some validity to the purchase decision and gives them confidence that other people who did this are also doing that, right? People who listen to the MarketingMax show also listen to this other show, right? If you hear that, you are more likely to listen to that other show if you listen to the MarketingMax show, right? So by saying people who already are like you also do this thing, you're increasing that. If you're an e-commerce brand and you run a clothing brand that sells premium t-shirts, you could also send an email to all of your customers every year, or if you wanted to get aggressive, you could do it every quarter or just really any time that you need sales. But in that email, you can show how many total purchases that person has had month to date, or how many they've made to date for the year or that quarter, or monthly if you send it out monthly, and mention what % of customers have purchased that many things or spent that much amount of money. So you're basically congratulating them at this point by saying, you are one of our top 10% most loyal customers. Here's 10% off for being a top 10% most loyal customers. Or you're a top 1% loyal customer. Use this code to add a free gift with purchase for your checkout or for your next purchase. Emails, guys. Emails is how Peacock is increasing their lifetime value. But specifically, and I should have mentioned this earlier, specifically volumes of emails. It's not one email here and one email there. They're sending 3 to 5 emails every single week. That's crazy, but it's working for them. All right, next up example. Let's say you run a social media scheduling tool. You run a software business, okay? And you help people schedule their TikToks and they schedule their tweets. Simply send a monthly email that shows how many posts the user scheduled that month and compare it to how many posts the average user schedules per month. And you can also compare it to the amount of posts the fastest growing social channels share per month. Even if it's outside of your social media scheduling tool, you can Google, right? Fastest growing social media channels. You can look at how many posts they share a month. And you can say, hey, look, if you want to grow faster, we can tell. And every month for the last 3 months, for the last 6 months, you've averaged 5 posts a week, right? You should be posting 10 times a week because that is what the fastest growing accounts are doing every single week. And that will convince them to stay longer, right? It creates a more sticky product. You're giving them reasons to stay. And at the end of the day, I think that's the fundamental concept behind this growth hack is you're giving customers or leads reasons to stay, reasons to purchase, reasons to upgrade in Peacock's case from free trial to paid, right? They saw 6% increase just by saying, here's your activity for the year, right? So that underlying principle of giving people reasons to stick around, giving people reasons to spend more money. Hey, congrats, you're a top 10% customer. You're one of our top 10% most loyal customers. Give them reasons to continue to purchase with you. All right, third and final example or case study, I should say. I always try to give a example of an agency or an example that an agency can use, that a SaaS or a software company can use, and that an e-commerce brand can use, because I think that's kind of the 3 buckets that the majority of my audience and listeners and readers fall into. So let's wrap it up with the agency example. Man, I did this at my agency and it was such a freaking hack. So every single month when we sent our clients their trailing 30 days performance report, we would make the first slide of that handwritten report a detailed bullet point list of everything we did for them that month. So every single month, if we had 20 clients, I would have my director of accounts literally go through her email inbox and see in the last 30 days what we did for every single client. It might have been that we coordinated assets for a photo shoot for them. Maybe we got a new campaign live. Maybe we finally achieved some growth goal. Maybe we got a new landing page live. I want a bullet pointed list of everything that we did for that client that month shared in the first page of that performance report every single month. And by reminding the clients every month exactly what we were doing for them, they felt more comfortable paying the next month's retainer. It wasn't just, oh yeah, they're my Facebook ads agency and they might be slacking off or maybe they're not so good. By showing them we are actually working and reminding them what we do for them every single month, because people forget, especially business owners, when you're an agency owner, most of the time your clients are founders, right? You want to remind them what you're doing for them every single month. And it goes back to the fundamental concept of this growth hack, giving people reasons to stay. In the case of Peacock, in the case of your agency, giving people reasons to spend more if you're an e-commerce brand, as the example I just gave, or giving people reasons to upgrade, right? To spend more if you're Peacock, going from free to paid. That's it. That's the podcast. I would ask you, how are you going to use this growth hack to grow your business? What emails can you send? How can you give your existing customers or your leads or your free users more reasons to upgrade to paid or to pay next month's retainer or to buy another shirt or buy another hat in whatever industry you work in? Again, thank you for listening. If you liked this, please hit subscribe on YouTube or on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. If you liked it or didn't like it, regardless, please go on Twitter or X, as we are supposed to call it now. Send me a DM. You like it, you don't like it, why? Give me feedback. Thank you, and have an awesome, awesome day. Chat soon. Thanks for listening to the Marketing Max show. It takes me and my team hours to produce it every single week, but it only takes you 15 seconds to hit that share button and text it to a friend, drop it in a Slack group, or share it on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or any of your favorite social platforms. I appreciate you taking the time to check out my content. Have an awesome day.